Good evening, it's Melanie, Waugh, Principal Psychologist from Mindspring Psychology Centre. Hope you've had a really good day today. I've been in the office today just kind of getting some paperwork done and preparing for next week and finishing some stuff off from earlier this week. I've been quite glad to be inside today actually because apparently it's been really hot outside. We're kind of all wondering where winter's gone. Up here in Brizzy it's been unseasonably warm and it feels like summer's here already. I talked yesterday about a thing called behavioural activation, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about that this evening. I guess basically last time I was talking about the cycle that people can get into when they're depressed, where it's really difficult to enjoy things that maybe they enjoyed previously. Things don't feel very rewarding. Maybe they're feeling quite low in motivation. Their mood is so low that sometimes it's just really hard to kind of do the ordinary things that they would normally do if they were feeling better. And we know that how we feel can definitely influence how we behave and how we act, but we do know as well that changing how we act, changing what we do with our time, can also work to change our feelings. So one of the ways of kind of trying to break that pattern that we can get into, that cycle that can happen when people are depressed, is to actually just work at getting some small things happening again. Some things that are rewarding or fun or interesting or are going to give people a sense of mastery. And I don't want you to think that I'm saying that's easy. It's definitely not sometimes. So I think one of the really key things to do is to remember to start small and simple. Most things in life can kind of be broken down into smaller parts. So if it's getting really hard to get started, really hard to kind of be doing things that are ticking things off your list or things that are enjoyable, then try to really break them down. And if you're working with a psychologist, that's something that we would definitely be helping you to do. So for instance, maybe going out and joining friends at a party or going to a big social event might be just way too much to take on. It might just feel like it's unachievable. Maybe start with something smaller, like just sending a text message or giving someone a call and having a little chat. If you wanted to be working on maybe some things that weren't necessarily fun, but were things that are going to give you some sort of sense of mastery or achievement, maybe, a goal might be to kind of clean up your house or something like that. That might be too big to start with, so maybe your focus could just be on doing the dishes. If that's too big, maybe you just focus on stacking the dishes in the sink, or just cleaning off one piece of bench space. And to start with, these things, may not feel like they're very rewarding at all, but we want to try and keep doing them, and gradually what starts to happen is that it helps you to feel better. So what can be helpful also is to kind of plan some of that stuff out. And commit in some small way to something. So with my clients, I would generally be trying to get them to plan a little bit, and not necessarily every 15 minutes of the day kind of logged out and planned ahead, but just maybe sprinkling in a couple of things that they could be aiming to do. And then what's often useful is to try and track how that feels when you do those things. So I've just drawn something up on my whiteboard here, and it's probably back to front for you. I'm not actually, let me see, does this button turn it around? No. Okay, that was a bit of a technology fail there. Coming back the other way. So sorry, the writing is in reverse. But basically what you might do is plan an activity and the date that you want to do it. And then before you do it, you might give yourself or allocate a rating for your mood, how much you think, how much pleasure you might get out of the activity, and how much of a sense of achievement you predict you might get. And then when you've done it, you could go back and actually rate those again. And a really simple way of rating those things would be to just use a very simple scale like this. This one's just 1 to 7. And just, you know, from thinking that it didn't go very well, or it wasn't very pleasurable, or you didn't get a sense of achievement, right through to really enjoying it, feeling a great sense of mastery and achievement and pleasure. And that can be quite helpful to just track how things are going. It's usually something I would set up with my clients in session, and we would kind of review and probably treat like an out of session activity, and then look at how things are going. Can give us a bit of a benchmark, and so we can start to see some progress, and how doing those little things step by step can gradually just start to shift mood a little bit and help us to feel better. So if you are feeling that you're struggling with low mood, or that everything's getting on top of you, you're just feeling overwhelmed, or you've kind of had that really you know, just no motivation, really struggling for a long time, you know, it might be helpful to work with someone who can kind of give you some more tips and strategies around that. And that's certainly something that we can help with here at Mindspring Psychology Centre. Or, you know, if you're not in Brisbane or not local to us, you know, certainly that's something that psychology can definitely help with. And I'd really encourage you to reach out if you feel like you need some help and some extra support. That's pretty much it for me from tonight. Just wanted to give you a little overview of that, a little taste of some of the sorts of things that we might work with our clients on, just to help kind of break that cycle of depression where we aren't feeling good, we start to avoid everything and really withdraw, and then that kind of exacerbates things because we're not having any experiences of pleasure. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you found this helpful, if you liked it, please comment below. Even if you're watching later, let me know, you know, like, love, just so that I know that you've watched. If you have any questions, if you have anything you'd like me to talk about in future videos, you know, please feel free to leave a comment or share to, you know, other people that you might find have an interest in this. And I'm signing off from Mindspring Psychology Centre. And just know, wherever you are in life, if you're ready for growth and change, then we're here to help. Good night.